I'm all about watches with odd shapes. I think every collection isn't complete until you at least have one watch that's a little bit out of the ordinary. Today we're taking a look at an affordable, out of the ordinary watch that's called Northern Star. The case takes inspiration from the star shape, but the details don't end with the case. You're getting a very intricate dial and a really beautiful customized Miyota movement. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. Not everyone is going to love the shape of this case, but not every watch can be for every single person out there. So I do have one hands-on. Let's flip the camera and take a look at the watch brand Northern Star and a very interesting case shape. So this is one of those watches where there is a lot more than meets the eye. The name of this watch company is Northern Star. So the case shape here is a little bit star-like. I wouldn't say exactly. I think that would be very, very hard to do in a watch. But what they have done here is given you a very odd case shape in a traditional time-telling form. And I really love the dial. The dial is very complicated, and you don't notice that right off the bat. So there are a number of layers to the dial, starting with the center. You have a black sunburst metallic center. Outside of that, you have a metallic ring that says Northern Star. So that's where it's signed on the dial. Outside of that, you have another ring, and that is made out of mother of pearl. There are 4 diamonds on the dial. I'm not sure if they're actual diamonds, but they look like little tiny diamonds under a loop. I'll do plenty of close-ups so you could see what I'm saying, but when you're looking at the watch without a loop, you don't really even notice them. You just think they might be bolts. That's it. That little track is made out of mother of pearl. That's where you're finding the indices for the dial that are not the outer indices. So then when you go out one more layer, there is applied indices to that sunburst dial. So again, that metallic black sunburst dial. The 12 o'clock is actually an index that is sitting on top of Lume, and the rest of the Lume is applied to each one of the indices at the end of each one of those indices. I believe that some of the mother of pearl is Lume. So there is a line of Lume that goes all the way around the mother of pearl. I'm not entirely sure how it is on this exact model. So lots of little details and interesting things to look at on this dial. Then you get traditional hands. You have stick hands. Those are lumed. I believe that the second hand is lumed. We will do a lume shot towards the end because obviously there is some trick lume to this, so I'm excited to see what this looks like in the dark. You do have an odd case shape. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There is a very large line of polish that goes all the way around the case. The top of the case is brushed. You have a sapphire crystal that is flat and sort of sits just slightly above that case. So there's just that brush portion, and then there is the sapphire crystal. When you turn it on its side, it really doesn't look all that odd. Actually, on its side, it looks like a normal watch because it just doesn't really show all of the angles of the case when you have it on its side. When you flip it over again, you're going to see all those angles. So that big angle on each side of the case, the crown sitting on the tip of that angle, it's very, very pronounced. So again, not something that everyone is going to love. And it also makes this watch wear, I think, smaller than it looks. And I'll show you it on my 7.5 inch wrist in just a few minutes. You get a screwed-in case back and a customized rotor on the Miyota 90S5. I believe that the 90S5 is the Miyota 9039, I want to say, because this does not get a date, so you have no ghost date position. You also get a very thick line of polish on the bottom of the case, as you could see, brushed case back with some information about the watch, and a really nice engraved custom rotor that makes the movement look even better than it already does. And I have to say, I love when brands do this because it's skeletonized, you can see more of the movement, and it makes the Miyota 9000 series look just a little bit different. I like when they put something custom on it because obviously. I just like custom. I like something that's different. One thing that is very different about this watch is that they have put two screws right here. Those screws actually hold in a little plaque. Now, I don't normally say this, but I would not use that plaque. So that plaque is not on here. Personally, I'm not a fan of that sort of thing, but you do have the option to remove it, so mine is removed. Also, this does come on a beads of rice bracelet, and it's a pretty nice bracelet. I'll show you a picture of the bracelet, but I have to say, on a strap, when you have a wild case like this, something, and I wouldn't say this is wild, but something not ordinary, out of the ordinary case shape, usually it looks better on a strap. And I have to say, I think that this watch looks really good on this strap. It's a very thick strap, and I mean, it has a custom buckle on here, and the buckle is signed with the brand name. You definitely can get aftermarket straps on this watch if you're not a fan of the strap, if you're not looking to get the bracelet. I think this would look good on aftermarket straps as well because, again, odd case shape with the strap, to me, just somehow works better. Dimensions on this watch, it's kind of deceptive, like I was saying before. If you're measuring from the crown, from the left to the right side of the watch, it's around 44 millimeters, but it does not wear that way. Also, if you measure it from here to here, it measures in at around 40 millimeters. So I would say it wears somewhere in between the two. Because you have these extremities, it wears or looks physically larger, but it doesn't wear larger. Also, it's pretty thin at around 10.9 millimeters thick. You have a very large crown, 7.4 millimeters, and then you have a 47 millimeter lug to lug. I'll throw it on my wrist so you can see what I'm talking about. On my wrist today, I have a Vulcane. This is the Heritage Mono Pusher Chronograph, a watch that I really love. I think it's so cool. I really love the color of this dial. It's like a pistachio, lime green, or something like that. Just a really cool watch, and I love Vulcane. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Like I was saying before, this is a 44 millimeter watch, but it does not wear like a 44 millimeter watch. I would say it wears like a 42 or maybe even a 43 millimeter watch because of the weird case shape plus the crown, which is large. It protrudes out a lot. It visually looks bigger, but it does not wear very, very big. It is 10.9 millimeters thick, so you can see it wears pretty close to the wrist. And then you have a 47 millimeter lug to lug, sapphire crystal. Everything here is really nicely finished. I really love the dial on this watch because it is so layered, and there are a lot of hidden little items that you don't notice in the light or without a loop. So again, I always love little details like that. Let's check this watch out in the dark. Let's check out the lume. Some really interesting lume on here. You can see the hands are lume, so even that second hand gets lume, and it gets a lot of lume. Almost the whole entire hand is lumed. Both the hour and minutes are lumed. All of the indices are lume. There's just a little bit of lume on all of the indices that are applied, and then the 12 is very liberally applied with lume. It's sort of a layered lume, so you have lume at the bottom, and then the index sits on top, and it's in the shape of a 12. So basically backed with lume. And then that mother of pearl has lume on it as well. There's a line of lume that goes all the way around that mother of pearl, and all of the indices in the mother of pearl are also filled with lume. So lots of lume going in here. Very interesting looking watch in the dark. Lots going on. I kind of like that. Very odd case, very odd dial, fun and interesting, something completely different, and I of course like that. I would probably change the strap. I probably would wear this on something a little bit more wild, I guess is what I would say. Not wild, maybe not. Maybe something like an Alcantara strap or a fabric strap that tapers. I think this would look really good on something like that. This is more of a thick strap, which I always complain about. I don't really love thick straps. So, and then you also have those screws, not really needed. So for me, I would go without this strap. That being said, everything here is pretty awesome, and A really good looking movement, really good looking dial, and a very odd case that I think looks great. $551 on their website right now. If you sign up with your email, you get 15% off. So that's that price. So $551 is that price with the 15% off. So if you're interested in this watch, sign up for their newsletter so you can get that 15% off. I think the regular price is around $630, $640, somewhere in that range. That will bring you down about 90 something dollars, so you can get this watch at around $551. So definitely do that. It is worth it. Anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? The odd case shape, the dial, the movement, that rotor. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next video.